Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. And sorry, I was doing something and not paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing here. Hi, guys. How are you? I hope you're well. I knew it. Calm down, calm down. Guys have to wait a couple of seconds to hear my magical voice and you get upset. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I like hearing it too. How are you tonight? Hope you're well. It's primary night. Yeah, right as I was getting ready to start the show, I was looking something up. I was like, oh shit, I need to start the show. So I jumped over here and hit start and then went back over there and like, oh fuck, I forgot to unmute. These things happen. It's just one of those things. What's up, Nuts? How you doing, sweetheart? So, guys, it's primary night and Nikki Haley got pounded. Trump did what so many other men have done to her and just took her to town. He didn't have to whip out his willy to do it like the others do, but yeah, he kind of dominated this race where we were told, oh, this is Nikki's best chances in New Hampshire. She's put all of her effort there. Yeah, that worked out well. That worked out real well. Let's just take a look at the polling. That's what I was bringing up, or the results, I guess, is the right word now. It's no longer polling, is it? New Hampshire results. Donald Trump with 160,000 votes, the most ever. Did I hear that correctly? I also heard he's the first guy in the modern primary system to win both New Hampshire and Iowa as a Republican. I haven't dug into that, but either way, Trump has really done well for himself. Nikki Haley gets 126,000 votes. Now, we need to talk about something because there's a lot of people concerned with how many Democrats and independents voted. This is not new. I saw Charlie Kirk. He's like, oh my God, smoking gun. And he shows a video of a guy who said he voted for Haley and that even if she were to win the primary, he'd vote for Biden in the election. Republicans have states where they have what they call open primaries. You don't have to be a registered Republican to vote in them. You can vote as a Democrat, whatever. And because of that, there's always people who try to get over on the system. And I guess you really got to hate somebody to do that. But about 5% of Nikki's vote came from Democrats. Now, you might hear the number anywhere from about 75 to 90%. 90% of her votes came from Democrats. No, they didn't. Only about 5% of Democrats voted. She got about 90% of their vote. So of that 120,000, only about 7,000 of those people are Democrats. She got about 60% of the independent vote if we go by the exit polling. And I have no reason not to. That's also not unusual. Independents tend to split. And in this one, they went like 40 to 60. You need independents to win the overall election anyway. But I do want to talk about the system itself, the open primary system. I think all primaries should be open, Republican and Democrat. Because here's the thing. All you have to do, if you're a Democrat, right, and you want to vote for Haley to screw Trump and it's a closed election, just switch your party affiliation. It's not like you're at that point beholden to the Republicans for your general election vote. It's a minor little inconvenience to switch your party affiliation on your official voter registration. That's it. So it doesn't really stop anything for those who are like, we got to do something about this. There's nothing you can do. And it's usually a minor thing like this. That 5,000 votes that she got, or 6,000, whatever it is, of Democrats, was never going to be enough to put her over Trump. She got trounced. So I get why people are upset about it. Like, they're cheating. It happens, and it's happened every fucking election. It's not new. I remember people bitching about this back in the Bush days. Like, people switched their affiliation to go vote for Bush. They voted in the open primary against Bush. It's not new. It's annoying, but there's no good way around it. And that's why they don't bother fixing it. But I wanted to watch the speech from Haley and part of the speech from Trump. Now, I started watching Haley's and I stopped myself because there were just too many whore jokes. And I was wasting them in head laughing to myself and like, no, we got to go on air to talk about what a whore Nikki Haley is. Speaking of whores, hi, Jack.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. I prefer the term lady of the night.
Oh, is that what whore means?
No, they're classy whores, the ladies of the night.
I thought that just was like calling somebody a dummy head. Alan, real quick, Alan, thank you so much. You said, good morning, monkey. Good morning, sir. Hope you're well. It's just like calling somebody a poo-poo head, right?
Yes, it is.
So when I say that Nikki's a whore, I mean that she sucks dick that she shouldn't. I mean that she's a poo-poo head.
Yeah, that she's a stinky butt face crotch licker.
Yes, that's what we mean. That and she cheats on her husband.
I almost got through that bit without laughing.
Yeah, me too. But I can't because it's just too funny. Jack, did you see the results of the New Hampshire primary?
No, I took one of those old man naps where I just pulled my face off the table because I fell asleep.
No, Nikki won in a landslide, dude.
No, really.
She got trounced, man. She let's see, the final result is, well, how much is left? I think like 8% still to report. It's 54.9 to 43.1.
Oh, that is well beyond margin of error.
Yeah, and the DeSantis folks didn't still vote for DeSantis. He only got about 2,000 votes. It does look like most of them split for Nikki.
Now, that's weird.
Well, it's weird because going into this, there was the speculation that she was going to do really well, right? Maybe even beat Trump. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But his numbers have polled at about 50% all along. And hers kept creeping up, but not enough for what the numbers that they were giving us, 40% of the vote with Ron still in it. And then Ron drops out. She actually gets that 40% of the vote. Trump's number didn't go up with Ron dropping out, so hers had to have. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the polls just have been bullshit all along. Shocking. Although I did see one guy who's like, they've overestimated the polls to make Trump look better. The polls were almost spot on for Trump. About 50% of the vote in each of the two elections we've had so far. It's the other candidates that they've been pumping up. But yeah, this was a DeSantis supporter, one of those diehards who just can't let go. Like they've been overestimating Trump. They did it in Iowa and New Hampshire. In Iowa, the aggregate polling is off by 1%. Here, it's off by 2%.
Yeah, that's shocking how good they got it this time.
And in the case of this, Trump actually did better than the polling shows. So, DeSantis diehards, I hear you. You guys made asses of yourself. Instead of having any humility at all, you made dicks of yourself. And this is a lesson for you young men out there, and some of you way too old to be acting this way. A little humility goes a long way. Just a little bit. Because right now, Jack, their egos are so wrapped up in it, they can't come out and tell their audience, yeah, I'm going to support Trump now because of all the horrible shit they've said.
Yeah.
How would anybody take him seriously ever again?
Yeah.
But we were just getting ready to watch Nikki Haley's speech, Jack. You know what? No. We're going to watch Trump first because Trump won and the winner should get to go first.
Well, before I get sad, thank you, Alan, for the generous donation. Says, good morning, Jack. How are you? Good morning, Alan. I'm doing okay. A little tired, in case nobody noticed. I am a little sleepy, but I hope you're doing well.
Frosted said, Monk is lecturing us about humility. I am a very humble guy. If you knew how great I was, you'd be like, God bless. He's almost Jesus. He's so humiliated.
Yeah, it's because it's hard to be this awesome and not be a little humble because you're so much more awesome than everybody else. Everybody's like, oh, he's so magnanimous. Oh my God. So
Lord. It's hard to be humble.
I mean, the first time you part the ocean is when you're like, man, I better be a little nicer to people.
Faithless, I know the word. My brain just didn't let me have it at the moment. Hard to be humble is one of my favorite songs ever since the first time I heard it. Mac Davis warned us. That's right, Viking. That is right. Mac Davis. You've never heard Hard to Be Humble? Look it up. It's a great song.
I haven't heard that song in like 30 years, I don't think.
Even as a child, my family deemed that my theme song.
Yeah, that song and like Elvira were on the radio stations for like a really long time, and then they just sort of boop, vanished.
Elvira. Mow, mow.
I heard that on some country station when I was in Nashville last time, and I was like, what? It just threw me because it's one of those songs you just don't hear anymore.
Yeah, and as popular as it was at the time.
Yeah. It's like hearing Eddie Rabbit on the radio. You're like,
I love a rainy night. Damn, you're just
that's
taking
always the song.
It is. Eddie Rabbit has other songs, but that's the one.
Yep.
Anyhow, so Jack, this is only part of Trump's speech. We're not watching the whole thing. It's like 15 minutes long. For those of you who've already seen it, this cuts off right before he brings Vivek up onto the stage. He's very adamant that Vivek only talk for a minute or less. It's funny as shit, but it's unimportant to the narrative we're building here tonight, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, did you see Tim Scott got engaged?
I did, and I, honest to God, thought that man was gay. So,
well, I'm still not ruling anything out, but yeah, it threw me. I thought he was already, with a beard, or did it come out?
Yeah, Trump actually gives him a little shout out about his pending nuptials on here.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah. Hey, they know what country they're in.
Thank everybody. This is a fantastic state.
It's as loud as it gets.
Great state. We won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three.
Can we hear Vivek's speech anyway? I would have to pull up a whole different video that had worse sound than this one in order to listen to it. So if you just go look up Trump's speech from tonight, you can catch it. But yeah, it's really low.
We win it every time. We win the primary. We win the generals. We've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important. If you remember, in 2016, we came here and we needed that win, and we won by 21 points, and it was great. And today, I have to tell you, it was very interesting because I said, wow, what a great victory. But then somebody ran up to the stage all dressed up nicely when it was at 7. But now I just walked up and it's at 14. But she ran up when it was 7. And, we have to do what's good for our party. And she was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win. She lost. And,
Yeah. Did we watch her speech last time? I think we did. When we get to hers, because I've only watched the beginning of it, Trump is right. She comes up there like she won. And I don't know if she just has like sperm buildup in her brain or something.
Some people have water on the brain. She got food.
She got semen brain, and it's making her act very weird when it comes to these losses.
Last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa.
Her last speech, she called it a 2-party race, and she actually turned out to be pretty right about that because Ron did drop out, didn't he?
Yeah, I still think it was a bit presumptuous on her part.
I think she was just stupid and didn't realize what she said.
There's that too.
Thank you, Frosted. Scott looks like an awkward parrot on his shoulder. You're not wrong. That's just the camera angle.
And I looked around. I said, didn't she come in 3rd? Yeah, she came in 3rd. And then I looked at the polls. She was talking about most winnability, who's going to win. And I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden.
That's
almost
true.
every poll. And she doesn't.
Now, for the record, they'll say, but it's within the margin of error. He's still winning. You guys weren't saying that when Biden was slightly ahead. But any article that you read about Trump beating Biden, they all say the same thing. It's within the margin of error. Shut up, dicks.
Win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had.
Yeah, there's no humility in this speech the way there was in the last one. Because he's honestly shocked that this woman came out and gave a victory speech when she got her ass kicked.
Yeah, I believe that.
Had a very bad night. She had a very bad night. And you have the now very unpopular governor of this state. This guy, he's got to be on something. I've never seen anybody with energy. He's like hopscotch.
I don't know who hopscotch is, but yeah, Sununu has really hurt himself. When is he up for re-election? Is New Hampshire every other year, or the off years like us and you?
I don't know.
Because this dude, I mean, he came out hard for her.
Yeah, that's a bit risky.
It's one thing to support her and everything, but he came out hard for her. We'll get to how hard he was for her in a little while.
And, I'm watching this guy, and 2 weeks ago, he said, we're going to win. We're going to win in the landslide. We're going to win. About 3 days ago, he started saying, well, we want to do well. That's a big difference. But I walked out just now. We're 14 points up, and I don't know what it's going to be. But when she was up here, it was like 6 or 7. And, with like 7% of the vote counted. Now, let me just tell you, we had an unbelievable week last week in Iowa. We set a record. It was the best in the history of the caucus, in the history. And I remember.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. Donald Trump, and it is because he's basically an incumbent, Jack.
Yeah,
he's not just winning these things; he's destroying everyone. 50% in a 3-person primary is amazing. In a 4-person one, it's really amazing. You expect maybe 5 or 6% win, not a fucking 40% win. Anyhow.
I sort of had the same feeling. I'm up and I'm watching, and I said, she's taking a victory lap. And we beat her so badly. But Ron beat her also. Ron.
Wait a second. In chat, Jack, are you hearing a noise from me?
There was a slight hum. You got really loud for a second. There was a sort of hum behind it. I just assumed you were about to be abducted by aliens.
Oh, I use the mute on my microphone, and when I unmute it, it starts looking for sound immediately, and it gets really loud. Yeah, that's my bad, guys.
What they probably heard was the toaster oven with my nuggies being done.
Could be that too.
Came in second, and he left. She came in third, and she's still hanging around. The other thing, she only got 25% of the Republican votes. I don't know if you saw that. Tremendous.
And that is true. While the number of Democrats is negligible, most of her votes came from independents, according to the exit polls. And I know which exit he's specifically talking about, the CNN exit poll, where she only pulled 25% of the Republican vote. She got about 90% of the Democrat vote and then 60% of the independent vote.
Didn't she do a whole lot of campaigning in New Hampshire? Because I remember them talking a lot about New Hampshire.
She saw early that Iowa was not a win for her, and decided what she was going to do. Because usually in these primaries, somebody will win Iowa and somebody else wins New Hampshire.
Yeah,
this is first time in modern history that a Republican has won both. So she's like, well, I will go to New Hampshire and I'll win there.
She only got 25%.
Yeah,
she should probably drop out.
His numbers.
No. See, Beth said that before the show. I do not want Nikki Haley to drop out. I need y'all to stop telling Nikki Haley to drop out. I need her to stay in this race for as long as possible, or I'm going to get really bored until the general kicks off.
Oh, that's true. And you're going to make a lot of horror jokes.
Yeah. Why y'all want to deprive me of horror jokes?
Of independence came out because in this state, because you have a governor that doesn't frankly know what the hell he's doing in this state, in the Republican primary, they accept Democrats to vote. In fact, I think they had 4,000 Democrats before October 6th. They already voted.
And again, I just want to point out the closed primary system that the Democrats use, maybe it stops people a little bit, but all you have to do is switch your party affiliation. There's nothing that ties you into that. You can switch it back later. So I get what he's saying, and I understand why people think it's dirty, but frankly, it's such a minor thing that it doesn't really affect anything.
Now, they're only voting because they want to make me look as bad as possible.
That's true.
Because if you remember, we won in 2016. And if you really remember, and if you want to play it straight, we also won in 2020. By more.
You got to love Trump.
The dude he missed a career as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he really did. Well, I mean, he would have never became a billionaire as a stand-up comedian.
Oh, very true. But I mean, there was a calling there.
And we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016. But as they said, we lost by a whisker, just by a whisker. No. But we can't let that happen. You know, you have to have people that speak up. I said, I can go up and I can say to everybody, oh, thank you for the victory. It's wonderful. Or I can go up and say, who the hell was the imposter that went up on the stage before and like claimed a victory? She did very poorly, actually. She had to win. The governor said, she's going to win, she's going to win, she's going to win. Then she failed badly. Now I have here, if he promised.
Okay, now he's about to make Vivek promise to be a minute or less. So there it is. At the end there, I love what he said. I could come up here and be gracious, or I could go, who the hell's taking my victory speech? Oh, fucking try. And see that if she had been humble, he probably would have been. He'd been.
Yeah.
He was humble in Iowa, even though she was kind of taking a victory lap she didn't earn there too.
It really does come down to how he's treated, how he treats people back.
Yes, it's
so.
And for all of the people, he's such a douche. Well, maybe, but look at what is said and done to him. That's where you're going to see how Trump's going to respond.
Yeah, maybe don't directly attack him all the time and attack the ideas and get a little further. But the more you attack him, the more he punches back and he hits harder.
BS version of Russia's Operation Chaos that fucked over. What does it say? Hillary. Oh, okay. That really didn't fuck her over too bad. That's the 2008 election. Barack was just a better candidate than she was. That doesn't mean he's a better leader or anything like that. He was a better candidate. He has natural charisma, and she has. My husband was famous. Yeah, so it really hardly ever matters, that kind of stuff. But anyway, Jack, now let's take a look at what Trump was talking about with our favorite whore around here these days, Nikki Haley. Sweetheart, stop turning to the side. It makes you look like the Wicked Witch of the West.
What a great night. God is so good.
You came in second in a two-person race. Yeah, Jack, I know you don't watch sports, but for those of you who do watch sports, you never see the losing team thank God. It's always the winning team that thanks God, because otherwise you're basically going, God hates us.
Well, he likes you enough to make you the first loser.
I guess.
Like, we're number one for losing.
All I heard her say right there is God doesn't like whores, so he made me lose.
You're my silver medal, baby.
Thank you, New Hampshire, for the love, the kindness, the support, and a great night here tonight. Thank you so much.
I see. Doesn't this sound like she won?
It kind of does. Yeah.
Thank you for
Well,
this.
maybe she got a new gig with Raytheon.
She is way too happy to lose.
She had a little before the show, if you know what I'm saying.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, thank you, Frosted. With how badly Nikki's been beaten in the primaries so far, I wouldn't call this campaign so much as a Tina Turner impression.
Oh my. That's dark.
Hilarious, though.
Funny. Wait, is her slogan really pick Nikki? So she's a pick me?
Yes. Pick me.
Dude,
It's her turn, monkey.
is there nobody on her campaign that's like younger than 90? She's made herself
that
a
might have been
pick-me?
done on purpose.
I'm a pick me. That's not a good thing, Nick.
No, she did that. Somebody in the staff doesn't like her and did it on purpose. Like, what if we just say pick Nikki? Spurn lover, perhaps.
It's a picnic. You get to eat with her.
Or eat her.
I want to first say thank you to my husband, who I know is watching right now. I love you. We're excited to
From where he's deployed.
Who's not here, by the way. Winky, winky, wink. Which it's nice of her to thank her husband. She didn't do that in Iowa.
Well, you know how Russell Crowe was fighting around the world?
Yes.
Maybe she's banging around the country.
She's banging. Well, she is for sure.
Some cock from every state.
She's going to get a cock from each state and probably from the capital, too. It doesn't count. You got to have one from rural area and one from the capital of each state. It's 100 dicks. I have faith in you. You can get that done in the weekend.
Gang bang in Puerto Rico.
I want to thank my kids who are here, Rita and Naylan and Josh, who have really kind of stepped up and just given me the support I need. You know, you really pull on your family when something like this happens. And
when something like this happens, when you enter a presidential race, she made it sound like a hurricane hit or something.
Oh, well, she was the victim of a beating.
She took a pounding tonight. I'm going to keep making the pounding joke, all right? When you lose, and you know what, Faithless? If she was acting like she lost, that would make more sense. But the way she's saying it's literally just being in the race. You really pull on your family. And pull on your family? Lean, sweetheart. Don't be pulling on people. It's rude.
Well, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you grab on things.
She's just so used to tugging that she doesn't know what else to say.
I'm incredibly blessed by their support. I have my parents at home.
That sounds like she kidnapped him. I have my parents at home. And then just silence? Nikki.
And I will always say that the way they raised me
was to be a whore. Do you think her mom's a whore?
Probably not. She's probably like a super nice, normal Indian lady.
Is whoring genetic?
I don't think so. It's usually a rebellion against your parents. So I bet her parents are really cool.
Know that we lived in the best country in the world, but to also know that the best way you appreciate your blessings is to give back. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you so much.
How much you want to bet her parents are sitting there wearing MAGA hats?
Right. I'm just wondering what she's giving back. Is running for president giving back?
It's her form of rebellion, you know, like dating the bad boy in school.
I mean, I do know that she like bought her parents' house for him with some of that Boeing money.
Yeah.
But I mean, That's not usually what you mean when you're a politician. You say giving back, right? Usually you have like some kind of charity thing you can point to and go, I did that.
I always thought when a politician says giving back, they're talking about kickbacks.
Well, probably.
To my siblings, to my in-laws, to everybody back at home, to Vicky for helping me take care of Mom and
It's not an Oscar speech. Why is she thanking everybody she ever met?
Well,
Dad. Thank you for that.
that's where you're wrong, because an Oscar speech is given to actors, and she's pretending she's a Republican.
I mean, that's fair, but they didn't give her an award for that either.
Well, somebody gave her an award, if you know what I'm saying.
You know, I will tell you, it feels like it's been a lifetime, but it has been almost a year that we've been campaigning in New Hampshire, touching every.
She's been campaigning for almost a year to come in second. To lose by double digits. Remember when she was making fun of Ron for how much money he spent with no real result, and then he beat her in Iowa and dropped out?
Yeah. Well, like Dangerous pointed out earlier, she said that New Hampshire was going to correct Iowa.
She did. She did.
Every hand, answering every question, being the last person to leave. And
yeah, some of those answers have been part of your problem, sweetie.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say about slavery? Iconic moment. It's not quite please clap bad, but it's up there.
Man, yeah. Or yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Howard Dean.
And we had the most amazing thing happen is the second that we got the endorsement from Governor Chris Sununu.
All right, now it's right after this moment that I had to turn it off because I'm like, there's so many whore jokes here. I want y'all to listen to this. I'm going to try my best not to interrupt her. And just keep in mind me calling her a whore so often and listen to what she says here. Look at that. Look at that love on her face.
I mean, a true governor that doesn't stand behind a podium. He shows up at a diner. He shows up at the brewery. He loves the people of New Hampshire. He was been with me every single day at every single event. Chris, I couldn't have done it without you.
Every day you were with this dude who's not your husband? Every day? And he's the governor of the state. He ain't got nothing better to do?
Well, probably not. It's New Hampshire. Also, she couldn't have lost without him.
She could not have lost without him.
Yeah,
that
this
pearl
sounds
necklace
like a
she
victory
wore.
Speech.
That pearl necklace she wore at the last debate was his.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a parting gift, if you will.
And I want to thank someone who was with me on day one. He's a patriot. He's a hardcore conservative. And he is my friend, General Don Bolduc. And Sharon, thank you so much.
She threw his wife in there at the end, and Sharon. I get what she's going for here. She's actually stealing Trump's speech from last time.
Yeah.
Because in Trump's speech in Iowa, he pulls up a guy from Iowa who's in the Iowa House, who was the first person nationally to endorse him. Anybody, any politician to endorse him. He was the very first one back in 2015. Nikki, it's not the same, okay? I get it. You just rip off everybody else, including Democrats, for all your talking points. It's just a bad look for anybody who's paid attention, though.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on his victory tonight. He earned.
There's the first time it makes it. We're almost 3 minutes into a 15-minute speech, and this is the first time she's acknowledged that she lost. The rest of it all sounds like a victory speech. I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, look, when you're rewriting a speech, it's easier just to leave several paragraphs and then add a new one and then go back to leaving, because she's obviously, this was a victory speech.
And it didn't work out the way she wanted. I mean, Donald Trump wasn't lying when he said that Chris Sununu, governor of New Hampshire up there, guys, that he was out there claiming she's going to win just 2 weeks ago before he had to couch that shit because the numbers never came through.
Yeah.
She had her historic rise in the polls, but there's only so many men she can fuck in the state. I mean, she had to sleep sometime, Jack.
That's what they tell me.
And occasionally take a garden hose to that thing to clean it out.
Ew.
Earned it. And I want to acknowledge that. Now, you've all heard the chatter among the political class. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over.
Sweetie, the race is over. It's over. You got your ass kicked. In this state, did Donald Trump even go to New Hampshire? Was he there I know he went after Iowa, but did he spend any time there or any considerable time before Iowa?
I don't know.
And you got your ass whipped by him. Look,
Yeah.
I don't want her to drop out, Jack, but she's already lost this race.
Well, this race was over a long time ago. Trump had such a massive lead. No, I'm with Scrappy. A 15-minute speech is 10 minutes too long.
You guys leave my whore alone. This is how she gives her jaws a rest between everything else she does.
Yeah, there's a race. This is sort of like a race between VHS and Betamax.
Well, it's very much going to be like Bernie Light. She'll hang around and she'll get delegates and she'll do decent for and also ran.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to run third party?
No. She doesn't have the Republican support. She doesn't have enough independent support. Even though she took 60% of independents in this, that is independents who are looking at the Republican primary. These are going to be people who, independent or not, they're going to vote for either Biden or Trump. They're not going to vote for RFK Jr. They're not going to vote for, I don't even know if the Greens have picked anybody yet. They're not voting anywhere other than the main parties. So while it looks like she has overwhelming support of independents, she doesn't. She has overwhelming support of independents in the Republican primary, and that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So she could run, but there's no good reason to.
Well, I mean, Cornel West is running. There's no good reason for that either.
I mean, there's always the amusing factor.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation.
New Hampshire was second, honey. Now, maybe she just means primaries because technically it's a caucus over there in Iowa.
Well, we've already seen she's not good at math. So she's got a good brain.
Real quick, thank you, Vol Potato. Nikki usually has a rise in the polls, followed by a rhythmic fall, then a rise, then a fall, and over again until the poll gets tired, and then she goes to the next poll, only when her husband is away, of course. Hey, you know what? In fairness to her, okay, I want to be fair to her. Maybe her husband likes her banging other guys. I mean, Jack Murphy. Apex Predators are out there, man. He might watch when he's home.
Yeah.
All I know is when he's away, she's banging him without him there. I don't know how hoary she is, okay? I don't want to undersell her whorishness. I'm trying to be open-minded for her sake.
Yeah, you're no bigot, Monkey. That's for sure.
I am no bigot.
This race is far from over. There are
only chronologically, lady. She is correct. It's far from over because technically it goes through June or July. Technically. And if she hung on the whole time, Jack, she could probably push it all the way there. To where mathematically she hasn't been eliminated until some of the final states. But it would be almost insurmountable, and she would have, like, she would need Trump's plane to crash to actually win. I get it, Nikki. You want to give your cheering crowd there a reason to believe and keep giving you money, and the donors to keep giving you money. That's going to be the interesting thing after tonight, Jack.
Yeah.
Will all those donors keep wasting money on her?
I think she'll pick up some like Democrat donors that want her to be a chaos agent, but yeah, it's financially, I don't see the point in this unless she's trying to get a job at like CNN or MSNBC as their Joe Scarborough traitor conservative.
Helen asked, do I think that libertarians will break for Trump? Some. If you're talking about your real libertarians, and I'll address that in a second, yes. If you're talking about the people who call themselves libertarians now because they think it's cool and are actually just Democrats and commies who are like, but the Democrats won't be commie enough. Maybe libertarians will be. Then no. And unfortunately, there's a lot of those fucking retards now. Some reason the Bernie Sanders folks went, we're going to the libertarians. Those two don't even belong in the same country. Bernie Sanders supporters turning to libertarianism is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in politics. Because
libertarians one of those catch-all umbrellas that they like to hide behind when they mean anarcho.
Well, the thing with, I mean, Bernie is a commie. He just is.
Yep.
And libertarians are as opposite of commie as you can get without anarchy.
Yeah, but like the modern anarchist still thinks there's going to be like people in charge.
Well,
they don't understand definitions of words.
The modern anarchist is as dumb as his forefather anarchist, but in a whole new way.
Yes.
Dozens of states left to go.
Well, she got dozens right. She knows that number.
Oh, ew.
1 and 2 confuses her, but 12 she's got a handle for.
She was holding out for the record at the glory hole.
Oh, shit.
And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina.
I wonder how she's polling in South Carolina right now.
At one point in this campaign, there were 14 of us running, and we were at 2% in the polls. Well, I'm a fighter. And
I make daddy work for it.
I'm scrappy. And now we're the last one standing next to Donald Trump.
And okay, look, yes, that is true, but that just shows that the others were smarter than you. So, Jack, she's pumping up South Carolina, right? I showed on Twitter, and I'm not going to show it on here, but you guys can look it up yourself, the actual polls versus what happened in the state with Iowa and New Hampshire, that the polls were pretty much spot on.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, this is what they look like in South Carolina right now. Trump is at 62%.
Oof.
In her home state. So, Nikki. South Carolina's next. And then Bob and Steve, and then maybe Jordan. Anyway.
And today we got close to half of the vote.
In a state where you had your best polling, you got about half the results. The next state, you're getting your ass kicked. And granted, Jack, the primary, I want to say, is a month away, basically. A lot can happen in there. And with DeSantis dropping out, what was he doing out there? He had about 10%. She might get up to maybe 40%, but she's still gonna get her ass trounced. She's gonna get beaten.
We still have a ways to go, but we keep moving up.
And down and up and down.
We're moving on up.
For a lot of people, politics is way too personal. It's not personal for me.
It's business for Boeing.
I don't even understand what that means.
It
I mean-
sounds like some sort of revenge thing, like a scored lover would say.
Oh, because she's been on her vengeance kick.
Yeah.
We need to get past the vengeance. Okay, I see where she's going.
Somebody did call.
I voted for Trump twice. I was proud to serve America in his cabinet. I agree with many of his policies. I decided to run because I'm worried about the future of our country and because it's time to put the negativity and chaos behind us.
So as a Democrat, vote for me as the Republican. Look at that smug little smile on her face. God, she irritates me.
I'm so wonderful.
Look how smart I am. I found the vengeance line.
We have an economy that's crushing middle-class Americans. We have
Oh, by the way, you know what? Let's take a look at the exit polls because there's some interesting stuff in here real quick. We'll come back to that idiot in a second. But here's the way the CNN exit polls came out. Haley doesn't do well with anybody in age demographics. Or why are there two different age demographics there?
Different ages,
No, they're the same.
racial lines.
No, they have a different one for racial lines, which, by the way, apparently only white people were voting. It's New Hampshire. What do you expect? People who go to church more than once a week, 8% of them voted, but neither one for Haley or Trump. I don't understand how that worked out. But Trump wins the churchgoers. The people who think life for the next generation is going to be worse went for Haley more than those who thought it was going to be better. That's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Married folks went for Haley 48%. 37% of unmarried folks went for her. That's an interesting demographic. Trump wins 62% of non-married folks. The one I really wanted to get to, though, we got the gender breakdown here. 50% of women went for Haley. About 40% of men. This is her abortion rhetoric working. This is the one I found really interesting. Do you work full time? Yes, only 40% for Haley. No, 51%. Lazy people were more likely to vote for Haley.
Well, they've got a lot more time on their hands to rub one out to her, I guess.
And then this is what made me think of it, because she was just mentioning how bad the economy is. People who think the economy is doing well, 82% went to Haley. People who think it's going bad, only 32%.
Wow.
So if she's out there going, hey, the economy sucks, her supporters don't think so. Isn't that a weird dichotomy right there?
That is kind of odd.
Now, in Trump's favor there, people who think the economy sucks went for him 67%. Only 14% of people who thought the economy is good said they support Trump. Chances are, if you think the economy's good, you want Nikki Haley because you're a retard.
Well, they clearly haven't been paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't want mean tweets. I'd rather the economy crash.
a border that is totally open and dangerous, creating a disaster in our country.
Unbelievable.
We have schools that are failing too many of our children, and we have a world on fire with a war in Europe and the Middle East and a huge and growing threat from China.
She's gone into stump speech territory, and that's fine, Nikki. That's fine. But well, you don't like to talk about the China thing, but you certainly helped them get here in America. And the wars in the Middle East and in Ukraine are not our wars, okay?
Oh, they're totally our wars. Everything is our war because nothing makes her happy like the blood of her enemies running through the street to distract her husband.
So drooling Americans broke for Haley. Yes, they did.
A bunch of pot
And
smoking
then
Call of Duty players.
At Washington, D.C. We have a Congress that fights about everything and accomplishes nothing.
And frankly, I like them that way. Look, there's some stuff I wish that, like with investigations they'd get done, but the less that they help us, Jack, the better off we are.
Well, help in giant air quotes.
The Congress sprung into action and spent almost $9 billion for COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
Was that good, Nikki? They sprung into action for you. I know you like to put all of that onto Trump, but don't forget Congress did that.
And we have Joe Biden in the White House making one bad decision after another when he's making any decisions at all.
Don't try to be funny. It doesn't work for you. It's a little too rehearsed, Nikki.
Oh, look, Monkey. She just wants everybody to Pokemon go to the polls.
Yes.
Country's in a real mess.
I didn't hear what that harpy said. Why are these idiots chanting?
I don't know. They're hoping for Haley's Comet.
Who's going to fix it?
Oh, you think that's what she calls it because it causes a burning sensation? But she has ammo in her shoes.
With Donald Trump, Republicans have lost almost every competitive election. We lost the Senate. We lost the House. We lost the White
House. He wasn't president that last cycle where they managed to have that big red wave they were talking about.
Where they won the House?
Well, barely.
But they still won the House. They did lose the Senate. That's fair. But we lost the Senate. We lost the House. No. That's why they elected McCarthy. Because it had been Pelosi. Remember that? That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
I swear to God, this woman doesn't have a brain.
She's a politician. She doesn't need a brain.
For all of my horror jokes, guys, those are just funny to me. She's actually really stupid. The only way we lost the House is if she is a Democrat.
House. We lost in 2018. We lost in 2020. And we lost in 2022. The worst kept secret in politics is how badly the Democrats want to run against Donald Trump.
And they're wrong because, we always do talk about the possibilities and stuff that happen and that Trump can't win without a major support from independents. He doesn't need 50%, but he needs a big chunk of them. And that's true. But the Democrats are making a huge mistake. Running against Haley is their best option. Yeah. Because why would you want Biden light when you can have Biden?
They know Trump's the only Republican in the country who Joe Biden can defeat. You can't fix the mess if you don't win an election.
Look, there was a time when I said all of the Republicans could beat Biden. I don't think she can. I
don't
think
know if
she
she'd want
loses. And what you'd see is basically a Romney, a McCain, and those elections didn't work because they put up basically McCain less so than Romney, but basically Democrats. McCain was still very, very left.
But he was a maverick. He'd reach across the aisle.
Maverick.
A maverick.
Meanwhile, the nag here, she has less appeal than he at least had his war record to fall back on, right? What does she have? I suck a lot of dick.
Well, I mean, it worked for Kamala.
Yeah, that's how you get to be vice president, not president.
Oh, yeah.
A Trump nomination is a Biden win and a Kamala Harris presidency.
You are literally eating Democrat talking points right now. That is what the news has been putting out over and over and over again to try to scare people away from Trump. He's going to lose. He's going to. Keldrick, thank you. Trump could beat Biden with one hand tied behind his back in a fair election. True.
Well, there's a key caveat there.
Yeah. You can't beat Trump, but you think people should elect or put you up there because you can beat the guy Trump lost to. Yeah, that's I mean, that's one tack to take, I guess.
I defeat Biden handily.
No, you don't. It's not the first time she's heard that.
Especially from a random stranger.
Random stranger yelling, "We want you, Nikki." And she's like, "All right, have some."
That guy shouting is kind of irritating.
Donald Trump, you have one bout of chaos after another. This court case, that controversy, this tweet, that senior moment. You can't fix Joe.
Did she just pull the senior moment on Trump?
Yeah.
Now, there's a part in his speech that we didn't get to. It's when he's talking about Vivek coming up, where he says Vivek was mad. He goes, "I was mad too, but I don't get mad. I get even." And I think I know why he said that line now.
Yeah.
Nikki, you're going to pay. Wow.
Joe Biden's chaos with Republican chaos.
But the Biden chaos is the court cases. And I'm sorry, if I hear one more motherfucker, Donald Trump tweeted something mean. So, who cares? That causes chaos. This from the woman who wants all of us to have to register to be on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, she has said way worse things about what she would like to do, like starting wars and destroying anonymity on the internet, than anything Trump's done. Trump kept us out of wars, signed the peace accords, tried to build a wall to protect people from the immigration chaos that we're having now.
The other day, Donald Trump accused me of not providing security at the Capitol on January 6th. No, I've long called for mental.
Did he accidentally say her name? I didn't see what she's talking about.
Well, sometimes Democrats are interchangeable.
Competency test for politicians over the age of 75.
Sweetie, just 2 minutes ago, you told us that the Republicans lost the House in 2022 when they won it. Maybe those stones should be put away in that little glass house of yours.
Oh, she's breaking the glass ceiling, monkey. You can't do
Yes,
that without some rocks.
Trump claims he'd do better than me in one of those tests. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. But if he thinks that, then he should have no problem standing on a debate stage with me.
Look, I think Trump should have been on the debate stages, but now I really, really want him to be on a stage with her on a debate.
He's going to make her cry.
He will. Wrong. Has there been any of this she hasn't taken from other people? Because this is Chris Christie's speech that she's giving right now. He didn't come on the debate stage with me. Nikki, I know somebody told you to come out there and be powerful and go after Trump, but this is a bad idea. I might even feel bad at the end of this with the way he's going to treat her. No, I won't.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, I won't. The Queen of Dixville here, she's getting what she deserves.
Most Americans do not want a rematch between Biden and Trump. The first party to retire its 80-year-old candidate is going to be the party that wins this election.
No, because I don't think the Democrats have anybody that can stand up to Trump. Even if they brought out their best gun, like bring out Gavin, who's ridiculously popular for reasons I can't explain, he got beat by DeSantis in a debate.
Oh, pretty handily, too.
And that's with no charisma. Gavin's only real thing is charisma. He is a charismatic guy. And on the other side is Al Gore Jr., who just kicked his ass.
And I think it should be the Republicans that win this election.
Do you?
Oh, did we lose Monkey? Oh, no. We lost him. We lost him. Monkey has fallen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? Staying sexy out there? Make sure you hit the like button. Who is this, Trump? Yeah, that's a good question, Brave. Gavin Newsom's charismatic, like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Yeah, I don't like Newsom. He always looked like a car salesman. I don't trust car salesmen. Hey, Shio. Yeah, I'll make sure he gets that one when he comes back. I'm so lonely. So sad and lonely. We have to hope that his internet comes back because I can't end the show without him. He has the button to do that. So it might be like another 2 hours of me and then 7 hours of ducks while we wait on his internet to get fixed. You know what they say? Those glass houses should commit infidelity in the basement. Yeah, but they tend to be exhibitionists because, people are dumb. Marathon. I can't. I gotta be somewhere at 6:30. Well, I could always come back. Let's just mute myself and come back.
That was weird.
That was very weird. Yeah, you just you stopped your sentence, you finished it, and then you're just gone. It took me a second to realize you took off.
I don't even know where exactly I was. All right.
Were you in the back rooms?
No. Nikki was not touching me inappropriately.
No, not those back rooms. The creepypasta back rooms.
It was just weird. Everything. This happened on my game earlier too, where Steam just stopped for a second and started back up.
Oh, that's unnerving. Did you develop powers of stopping time?
Apparently.
No, good job.
All right, back to dumbass here.
Millions of voters in over 20 states will have their say. We should honor them. and allow them to vote.
Oh, pause it. You got a super chat.
Oh shit.
From Shio.
I'm not seeing it. Hang on.
Here, I'll get it for you.
Can you read it for? Yeah, because it's not showing up on my thing here.
Thank you, Shia Grath. Darling Nikki took less D than this YouTube.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Shia.
Appreciate it.
Shia was like, I broke monkey.
And guess what? In the next 2 months, Joe Biden isn't going to get any younger or any better.
I don't understand her point there.
Yeah, that's kind of a mean thing to say because dementia is pretty serious, and no, people don't get better from dementia. That's cold-hearted, like on a level I can appreciate, but
well, I hear you. I just don't understand what it has to do with what she said. Hey, over the next 2 months, people are going to get a vote, meaning in the Republican primary, and then she says, and Joe Biden's not going to get any better.
Maybe she meant sexually.
Maybe we don't know how many times she's gargled his ball juice.
Maybe she's corn pop.
Maybe Kamala was tired one day and called up her fellow whore. They did a tag team action. I don't know.
Just for the record, we don't think all Indian women are whores.
Just those two that I know of.
Yeah.
We'll have all the time we need to defeat Joe Biden.
Who wrote this?
I don't know. High schooler.
When we get to South Carolina, Donald Trump's going to have a harder time falsely attacking me. The great people of South Carolina know I cut.
Has Trump even really attacked her yet?
No, not yet.
She's basically taking the line she tried to use against DeSantis. He's lying about me. I guess Nikki says TrumpLies.com is coming. How great is it that she spent money on that website and then he drops out like 2 weeks later?
Yeah. Well, you spend all that time. I feel bad for whoever had to do that. But I don't doubt that she is trying to provoke Trump right now so she can hide behind the "but I'm a woman" guard. Look at all his misogyny.
Their taxes. They know I signed the toughest illegal immigration bill in the country. They know we passed voter ID.
I love that she keeps saying that. You were in South Carolina. It's not like illegal immigration was a big deal for you.
Yeah, what are you getting? Some Barbary Coast pirates coming knocking? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Good for her for doing it, but it's not like she went to New York and did, right?
Yeah, that sounds like some shit people put in an earmark that they wedge into a bigger bill.
Yeah.
And tort reform and ethics reform. And they know we moved 35,000 people from welfare to work.
By bringing in a bunch of Chinese companies. But don't mention that part because people might wait. Didn't you say China bad?
She liked China really well.
Well, I mean, they're not known for their dong size, and that gives her a little bit of a reprieve.
She could take 2 or 3 of them at once. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Every time I've run for office in South Carolina, I've beaten the political establishment.
But you're not running for office in South Carolina. It's a national office that goes through South Carolina.
They're lined up against me again. That's no surprise.
It's telling.
Now servicing number 5.
But South Carolina voters don't want a coronation. They want an election.
Hang on. I want to look at this again. 62%. All right. I'm just making sure. And the lowest he was at what? 39 way back in May of last year. He's been over 50 since, we'll say right there was the last time he was under 50, since December 12th. And with Ron dropping out, he jumped all the way up to to the 62 he's at now. They don't want a coronation. They want me to drop out.
Wow.
And we're going
South Carolina is going to correct New Hampshire's mistake.
to give them one.
God, she's annoying.
Because we are just getting started. Thank you for the energy.
Yeah, I don't care anymore. So there you go. She's the winner of second place, acting like she did something important there. Look, guys, I'm not for people dropping out. I'm really not. One, all of those idiots who waste their money on politics, and I'm not talking about your $10 and $12 voters. I'm talking about the fat cats who throw money like Boeing, throwing shit tons of money at this idiot. I'm all for them wasting their fucking money. Plus, I like the conflict, and I really like stupid people because they give me something to talk about.
Yeah.
But the levels of delusion she's showing there, and not just by staying in the race, but by her actions, her speeches after Iowa and New Hampshire now, they're delusional. I think you're actually right that she wrote a victory speech, and when she loses, she changed a line or two.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
And the only difference is she added Donald Trump. I want to congratulate him on winning. Let's get back to my pre-planned my victory speech. That's a really bad speech. I don't know who wrote it, but you should probably fire him, Nikki. Even your crowd didn't hit all of the clearly written applause lines. And that's your most favorable crowd you had right there. But this is what Trump was talking about with look how she came up there and pretended to be the winner. All right, so primary number 2, well, race number 2, because the first one's a caucus, blah, blah, blah. Second one is in the books. Nikki Haley picked up a decent number of delegates. If this was a different race, she might actually still be in it. But this is the 2024 race, and it is Trump's to lose. He would have to do something unthinkable to lose. He would have to get caught with actual children, or his plane go down, or something that makes it where people can't vote for him. And that's just not going to happen. I mean, he is getting close to, what is he, 77 right now?
Yeah,
So he's getting up there in age, but short of something happening where he has to drop out, this is a loss. Stay in, Nikki, because I have a lot more whore jokes to make. But dear God, man, she just comes off as delusional. At least have some humility in it. You know what I mean?
Ooh, from a modern woman?
That's fair. No offense, ladies. All right, so we got our loser Nikki, which was funny to me, honestly. Oh God, now we got to talk about our actual president. Did you see him? I wonder if I can find the full speech instead of just watching the little clips. And now let's just watch the clip. I don't want to watch that much Biden. So Joe gave a speech today.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah. Who's that big face or that big-headed little face guy?
Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Kirk, thank you. Because I know Charlie has 2 of the clips where everywhere else I've only found 1 at a time. So I don't normally go to his page, but I was making fun of him earlier for being a retard and happened to see him over there. I'm not a retard. I'm Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Matt Damon. Maybe it wasn't Kirk's. I swear it was his page that I saw it on. Ah, well. So we'll watch this one. Da-da-da-da-da. This is the president of the United States, y'all. And it's scary.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Let's hear that again.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
What he's trying to say is, we'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with women of America. And he says, unless you want the benefit. I don't know what the last part was supposed to be, but I can't believe that's the line that was written.
Yeah, I don't see how that's the line that he was supposed to read.
And instead of him saying, we'll teach Trump a valuable lesson, don't mess with the women of America, he says this.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Yeah, that's not the internet skipping, guys. That's actually what the president of the United States slurred. If I didn't know better, I would think he was drunk as shit the way he was talking there. That's that is disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the other clip. Okay, I did repost this one. So this was a speech in Virginia, Jack. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Virginia. And the real governor, Terry McAuliffe.
And the real governor, Terry McAuliffe. That's election denial.
Yeah, but we've been told that only Republicans do that.
Young can beat McAuliffe handily. That's not even questionable.
Oh no, see, because if there wasn't cheating going on, that's election theft.
Yeah, the real, and look how smug he is. How come they got, normally you put people behind them so that they look good on camera, or you're trying to pump up a certain group. Like you'll often see Republicans make sure there's black people behind the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Why they got a fat girl back there? Several, actually.
Body diversity. I don't know. That looks like a collection of like 3s and a 4 slipped in somehow. And she's like, I'm the pretty one.
I'm the pretty one. It just really jumped out at me when I saw the background, because typically, yeah, you have you want that to look nice. They're like, no, get the fat chick in the sweatshirt. It's like smell-o-vision.
Ugh.
Sorry. Anyway, do I really want to talk? We haven't talked about the LPGA thing that's going on.
What the gays do now?
There's a trans athlete who is going to backdoor their way into the LPGA. The LPGA has a couple of events where if you don't make it in qualifying school, you can qualify by winning different events around the country. And this person won one the other day. And so there's a bunch of people that are like, you have a guy trying to beat up girls again. And there was an interesting report that came out. This is from Sage Steele. I'm not familiar with them. She's cute.
Wasn't she an ESPN reporter?
Maybe. But anyway.
This whole transgender sports topic, one of the things I hear a lot of is, why aren't these women standing up, these female?
For the record, this is not at 2x speed. This chick just talks that fast. Which, as somebody who lives in Michigan, I'm used to that kind of speaking, because these people talk like they have to get everything out immediately.
Well, it's really cold there, Monkey.
This whole transgender.
I wonder if she's actually from Michigan. That would be funny.
I'll look it up.
Sports topic, one of the things I hear a lot of is, why aren't these women standing up, these female athletes? I got a DM over the weekend from one LPGA golf currently.
What?
She's from the Panama Canal Zone.
Really?
Where she was born, yeah.
Huh. Sage is super sexy and based as heck. She's cute. I like her.
On the tour, who was responding to the biological male who won a women's tournament last weekend. And she said, there's a lot of people on the tour that feel the same way, but they're scared of losing sponsors. And she said that that's the problem. They're struggling financially, either don't have a sponsor and are looking for one, or have a sponsor and are afraid that the sponsors are then going to dump them for standing up for their own sport. So,
and that's true. It's very easy to say, you know, people should stand up for this, but LPGA folks don't make the money the PGA makes.
You keep wanting to say LGBT.
It's women's golf, for fuck's sake. Golf is not until Tiger Woods, golf is not the earner for most people that it's become.
Because it's boring as fuck to watch.
It depends. If you get to go watch it live, it's a lot more fun. Especially if you get to follow Lee Trevino, like I got to the one day. Oh, that man is funny as shit.
I don't know who that is.
He's a senior golfer now.
Well,
is Lee still alive?
That.
There was a tournament in Grand Rapids me and my brother went to, and yeah, we followed Lee's group. That dude's funny as shit. But it's really easy for us to sit back and go, hey, the women should say it. The women who matter when you get to like professional sports, they have a lot to lose by saying it. You know what I mean? It's kind of a catch-22. Because either you're going to go lose to a man or you lose everything. It's a dirty place to put these women. How dare you have an opinion that only women should be in women's golf?
Yeah, bigot.
But yeah, so that is a brewing story. And the dude, he's not even trying. Still better than that one that's been popping up again. It popped up sometime last year because of Rebel News. A grown-ass man pretending to be a 13-year-old girl going into their showers and stuff as he's on their swim team. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I forget the dude's name. I'm sure it's on my timeline somewhere. What was his name? Shit, did I not retweet that one? Oh yeah, there it is. Well, we'll just watch the report. It'll say it. Because it's not in the tweet. I hate when people do that. When I'm looking for stuff and they didn't do it the way I wanted them to. Bastards.
You know how normal people would do it?
The infamous 50-year-old man who identifies as a 13-year-old girl. That allows Nicholas to swim with the teenage girls. Oh, and by the way, change and shower with them as.
Nothing to see here, Jack.
Yeah. You know, it's a good time to be a degenerate pervert because holy fucking shit are we catering to these pedos. I'm sorry, if you're a grown man and you want to shower with high school girls that are not legal adults, it's fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird. But we have to pretend that it's normal. We have to pretend that there's nothing wrong with that. Jack, what makes you an expert to say that grown men shouldn't shower with little girls just because they say they're little girls now?
Because I'm not a pervert.
Wait. What gives you the right? What if one of those kids, their mom wants them to be there so that they can be seen?
Well, then their mom's probably a pervert.
Sorry, I can't let you answer that because I'm trying to get a job on MSNBC.
Oh, my bad. Nobody should stop perversity. We all have to look the other way because if we look the other way on this, we'll look the other way on bigger issues.
By the way, that person's name is Melody Weishart is the name they go by. And they are a professor.
Of pervertology?
I don't know what their thing is because I actually first saw them a while ago and forgot all about them. But then Jordan Peterson tweeted out about it today. And his tweet says, my re-education, because he lost his case in Canada.
Yeah.
Canada told Jordan Peterson that he had to take how to be nice online classes, and he told him to get fucked and sued. And the court came down and went, no, you have to be nice, or they're going to take away his license to practice psychology. And he lost that case. And so he says, my re-education with GADSAT is proceeding very well. I've learned to see true female beauty without bias and attached a picture indicating that standard. And if beautiful 50-year-old Professor Melody Weishart wants to compete against 13-year-old girls he changes with, then more power to him. Oops, I mean her. Old habits die hard. It's a grown-ass man pretending to be a 13-year-old girl, and people are indulging it.
Yeah, that's disgusting. We joked this would happen.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And-
real quick. Thank you, Circus Zero. He was entertaining, though. Watch the sport is boring. Watching paint drying can be entertaining if you're listening to Carlin or Richard Pryor.
Well,
yeah, that's fair.
I like golf too. I enjoy golfing, and I don't mind watching it. So I get what you're saying. If you find golf boring, sure, but I don't find the sport boring. It's a little more boring on television because I want to follow like a person, and they jump back and forth because it takes a while for people to get to the next ball, you know?
Yeah.
And I get lost in it, and it annoys me. And then, you know, they'll come back 2 hours later and be like, by the way, the guy you were watching is winning now, and we didn't watch hardly any of it.
They have to give everybody equal time.
No, they don't. Only follow the people who have a chance.
Yeah, as a 13-year-old girl, I'm very upset by the way you're treating me right now.
I don't blame you. I
feel like I should journal about this and maybe write a poem and then go seek the comfort of my fellow teens at a sleepover.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. That slippery slope isn't looking so much like a fallacy anymore, is it, leftists? The problem is what you put at the end there. Is it leftist? You have to realize that these people, they don't consider this part of the slippery slope. This is part of how things should be. See, that's why they see the slippery slope as a slippery slope. This grown-ass man, this college professor who's changing with children, could get caught banging one of those 13-year-olds, and they'd be like, but he's only 13, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's age appropriate, Monkey, because he identifies. I mean, who are you, bigot, to enforce chronology? Oh my God, what are you, a tree? Because trees have rings. You can't get away from that.
I get you.
I just thought I better explain that one before people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, Keldrick. Nikki Haley is probably a great golfer, the way she hunts for balls.
True. They would always throw a slippery slope fallacy at this, is what I'm saying. No, and I understand what you're saying. I do. But you have to understand from their point of view that we're still not on that slippery slope because this is how things should be.
Yeah, slippery slope only applies to things they don't like when they have no defense for it. Plus, it looks like a lot of these people are just fucking degenerate pedophiles that are. They're not trying to justify somebody's gender transition. They're trying to justify being around children. That's what it looks like more and more.
Thank you, Snubber, who says, I mean, idiots are using post-minor again. I don't know if...
God.
I don't remember that phraseology.
Yeah, that one didn't last very long. Post-minor. Jesus.
We aren't on the slope. We're at the bottom of it. And you and I agree on that, Dark. And I understand 100% what you're trying to say there. It's just the people that need to understand it never will. Those are the people who are like, but it just makes him feel good to identify as a little girl and change with him. And that's enough. It's Joy Reid from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We were watching this clip and she's asked, why does there need to be a book that's talking about strap-on dildos and anal rape in a child's school? And she's like, what gives you the right to say that shouldn't be? What if one of their moms wants them to read about dildos and child rape? Because that's what it is to them. Everything is permissible. There is no slippery slope when everything is permissible. Now, the moderates out there who were like, oh, it's not going to hurt anybody. That's who that slippery slope argument needs to be pointed to. Thank you, Mighty Balzac. What's that, Lassie? Nikki stuck in the dryer? Stop it. Snubber, thank you. Post minors just age gaps of adults being problematic if they are too big. Well, yeah, I understood what it meant.
Jesus.
I just hadn't heard it before that I remember.
That had a very, the way he
Yeah.
wrote that had a very Nikki Haley feel to it.
It kind of does. It got that big gap going on. No, the kind of people who allowed this stuff. Look, there's always been weird perverts out there.
I feel seen. What?
No.
Oh, not that kind of pervert. You mean the pedos?
Yeah. You're a weird pervert who does adult stuff with adult people. That's between you and them. I don't.
Yeah, see, and they're ruining it for all of us because we're just degenerates. They're a bunch of fucking seemingly diddlers. Because that's what this guy looks like to me. It looks like he's a kid diddler that's trying to be like covertly sneaky about going to get some new victims.
Since we're talking about the pervert, let's bring him back on the screen. So, you guys, this is who we're talking about. For anybody who missed what they look like, that's a little girl, y'all.
Well, you know what? He needs to lose his job because they're violating child labor laws.
True. Biologically and chronologically, they are a 50-year-old man, but they're a 13-year-old girl when it comes time to changing with the little ones.
Yeah, we need to actually come up with a term that makes these people distinctly different from like window peepers and flashers, because that's when you call somebody a degenerate, that's the type of thing that generally comes to mind is somebody that's like got some weird sexual hangups. This is worse. What's that? What if we use the word
pedophile,
groomer, or pedophile, or a demon? Because there's got to be a term that distinctly shames these people. We need to bring shame back because this person shouldn't be around children ever. This is fucking disgusting. We need to draw a line.
Quick. Dark says, fair enough. No point in trying to talk to people who don't live in reality, but to bring the reality to the enablers. Yes, exactly. This doesn't happen with people who actually would disagree with this shit if they knew what all was happening. But this is the shit that gets hidden. Notice that was on Rebel News, not ABC News. But to your point there, Jack, I get what you're saying about a better word, but all they're going to do is the same thing they did with groomer, right? What'd they do? All they're doing is calling everybody groomer. It's lost all like it was being used like Nazi.
Yeah.
Right. And so they made it like they actually made it wrong to call groomers groomers.
The problem is that the people that you're pointing out are groomers, sometimes over abusing. Let's be honest. They don't care that they're perverts.
Nope.
The degenerates. That they really don't care. Oh, real quick, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Yeah, I could ignore it, but I'm not gonna. I suppose I should rephrase. There's no point in bringing reality to those leftists who refuse to see the world as it is. We need to bring it to their normie enablers. Like Monkey said, you're absolutely correct.
100%.
And normie enablers are actually, I think, a little bit worse because we all know there are monsters out there that want to prey on children. And they don't tend to hide it very well. Their enablers, though, they're facilitating this. They are making it easier for these people to get victims. They are setting children up to be the victims of these clowns, and they're doing it so they can feel good about making this tiny percentage of pedophiles feel good. They're also destroying anybody that actually has gender dysphoria. They're making their lives harder. They're making it harder on all the victims who are going to come forward in 5 years and be like, this person raped me. Because nobody's going to see them as victims if this shit continues.
No, you're fine. See, I hear what you're saying, and I understand. I do. The problem is not everybody has the knowledge that we have. Look at what happened with Boston Children's Hospital, right? The news media blasted everywhere that Libs at TikTok lied about how they were doing stuff on children, even though it's on video, them bragging about it, and it was on their website. Not a single fucking article about that says, oh, by the way, they changed it on their website. Not one. So the people at home that don't go out there and actually do the digging, they read oh my God, They went after this place because they give therapy to these kids who are confused. Why would they lie about them? See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. Yes, they absolutely are enabling them and are allowing this to happen. But part of it is because it's been propagandized to them and they don't know the truth. Because the news lies constantly about this shit because this is the push.
Yeah.
So I hear you. You're not wrong. But the question is, how do you get that message to them when everything else that they're hearing tells them that people like you and me are liars?
I don't know. That's really the trick, isn't it?
We can have all of the facts that we want to, and we can show it to them, and all they have to do is pick up one goddamn CNN article that goes, "This didn't happen."
These people are bigots.
Yeah.
How dare they?
I was talking with somebody about the parents who let their kids transition, and they're like, "These are bad parents." These are parents who are being told, if you don't let your kid do this, they're going to kill themselves. What would you do as a parent?
Oh, did he duck out again? Switch screens and he goes away. What are you doing? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be long before we see some Frank Castles with this nonsense. I really don't. Look at what happened in Loudoun County with that girl that was raped in the bathroom and how they covered it up. They'll go to any length to protect their ideology over potential victims, including covering up crimes. It's disgusting. Garden mulch. I don't think we can say that. Monkey. Monkey left me again. I don't know. I don't see any easy way around this because they've gotten so ingrained in the culture now. And it's not getting any better. I think that should worry all of us. They're going to use this. They're going to use any pushback as an excuse to go after parents, probably gun owners, and any other group they don't like. I mean, look what they did to people just speaking out at school board meetings.
That is
going to get worse.
On the AT&T, that's happened to me tonight. What the hell is going on?
You came back halfway through that sentence.
I said it's twice that this has happened to me on my AT&T tonight.
Oh.
Anyhow,
you said something wrong.
We just our biggest problem with all this stuff, Jack, is the propaganda, and I don't know how you fight back against it because truth doesn't matter.
Unfortunately, it doesn't, and you need to educate your friends as much as possible. But then you're risking getting yourself put on a list for when social credit scores are reduced later this year.
Dude, when social credit scores come out, you and me are screwed.
Oh, yeah, we'll be living under an overpass somewhere, baking beans out of a can, hobo style, and riding the rails looking for work. It's going to be brutal. But if they get that digital dollar through, I absolutely see them doing a social credit score along with that. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't buy that. We didn't approve of that. You're a bad person, bigot.
Young Geezer says that's one good thing about more Muslims sliding in from the Middle East. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. Careful what bedfellows you make. Their prophet married a 6-year-old, dude.
Yeah.
They're
saying. Okay with pedos. They're just not okay with the gays.
You got to marry them is all.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all Muslims, but let's be honest. That's what
hashtag most.
It's their book, not mine. I didn't write the fucking thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Sadly, my wife used to be one of the ones who said, well, if it will prevent the kids from killing themselves, why not give them hormones? Until I showed her the bone loss studies and that 98% of these kids grow out of it with therapy. Yeah, but like Monkey said, this has become so indoctrinated that they just skip the therapy step because that actually will work.
And For the record, that 98%, that number's wrong. It's more like 99.999%. Trans people before this started, before they decided everybody has to be trans, was less than 0.003% of the population. That more than 98% grow out of having a little boyishness to their femininity or femininity to their boyishness.
Yeah.
But that's the number that's used to still make it sound like, but 2% of people, and it's not even 2% of people, it's 2% of the people who go to high school and learn from their teacher that, hey, you're probably trans. Well, why would you say that? Because I want to see you naked. I mean, you seem disturbed.
Yeah, and statistically, gender dysphoria is very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horrible thing to have happen, granted. But the way they're making this into a fad really minimizes that. And
Yep.
I find it disgusting that we're allowing a bunch of sexual perverts to hide themselves in with a group of people that are actually suffering. Just like the TikTokers who pretend they have multiple personalities or I'm so mentally ill. Shut the fuck up. Have you ever seen someone with serious mental illness?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's terrifying and their lives are miserable. They tend to be homeless now too because there's nowhere for them to go where people will take care of them. So I'm so sick of this shit that they are helping protect the most vile among us.
Faithless says misery loves company, so they want to spread it. Yeah, I mean, that might have been how it started, but that's not what it is anymore. It's now just look at me. It's all attention seeking.
Yeah, attention seeking mixed with sexual degeneracy. Because, I mean, if they're getting off on something that it's out of the typical neural pathways,
mm-hmm.
and they're all like, oh, Tanner stage 2s, then they're probably going to find this as an exhibitionist thing too and get off on that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubt this Melody person is eating up all the attention like Dylan Mulvaney did.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just look at me. It's look at me as a sexual release. They are getting off on the publicity they get.
Speaking of perverts, let's talk about Canadians for a minute.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't like that description, Canadians, kick the French people out and then we'll talk. Judge says Canada's use of Emergency Act to quell truckers' protest over COVID was unreasonable. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
yeah. I was going to bring this up. Good on this judge. He's probably going to lose his job.
There was already a government investigation into this where they were like, no, it was perfectly fine. And this judge said, no, it wasn't. There's not much more to the story other than what do you guys call your vice president, assistant, deputy prime minister? That's what y'all call her.
No,
she says, I don't want to minimize the gravity of the actions we took. Neither do I want to minimize the gravity of the threats Canada faced.
Of what? People having fun?
Remember, this all started because they wanted to impose that you wear a mask in your truck while you're driving alone. That's what started it. And then it became the mandates for the vaccine. And then from there, it was like, there's Nazis everywhere. Which, by the way, every story I read about this basically had that timeline, except for they always skip the part about the masks.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this was in response to the COVID shots and having to get it, and it was a right-wing backlash. No, it was a trucker backlash because it made no goddamn sense. Is Pal World worth it? Absolutely, it is. Yes. Here's how worth.
Sorry,
real quick. Here's how worth it is. I've been recommending it the last couple of days, and for the first time ever on a video game recommendation that I remember, somebody sent me a note thanking me for recommending it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
People
So
thought that was 7 days to die. So
they've said it to me like in chat and stuff, but this was a DM that was sent to me.
oh,
Yeah. A very nice one saying how much they liked it and thanking me for recommending it. Hey, Pal World, you want to sponsor me? Like they need me with their 5 million sales. Anyhow, so Jack, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association and
they have that?
Yes, apparently. They're one of the most underused agencies in the country. But them and a couple of other groups. This article doesn't have the name of the other group because there were two main groups that did it. Yeah, they sued on behalf of these people. Like, this is fucked up. These are powers that Canada first put into their law in 1998 and had never been used. And then Trudeau's like, hey, we can take people's money away. Let's do that. Because they're protesting.
Yeah, he destroyed people's lives over this.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking evil, if you ask me.
And look, man, you guys know how I feel about protests. You know how I feel about blocking traffic.
Oh, my God.
But, I mean, why is it in every other... They had BLM riots up there in Canada. And they were allowed to do shit. There's like four black people in Canada, and one of them's Vegan Gains.
That's true.
And they're like, but the black people in America are mistreated. We have to block our streets. That was allowed. But when it comes to actual Canadians being like, what you guys are doing is fucking us over. Like, how dare you notice?
How dare you question authority?
I can't believe the world we live in some days.
Yeah, no.
It does say in there that the Canadian government is going to appeal it because this is basically their federal court level. It's not their Supreme Court ruling it. My guess would be the Canadian Supreme Court will come down and say it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because it's Canada.
Because they're run by degenerate communists.
It's Canada. They just told Jordan Peterson he has to take nice classes online or he's going to lose his fucking ability to do his job.
Yeah, how dare you do a job we didn't approve your thoughts up for.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
And yes, Dangerous, that is a real thing. The Canadian government investigated the Canadian government and said, yeah, we did nothing wrong. That's what happened in the original case here. That's what made it actually go into the court system rather than the federal investigation they had. We did nothing wrong. Look, we told you. All right. Harvard Cancer Hospital retractions prove academic rot runs bone deep.
Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Oh, this is fun.
Harvard needs a new motto. Veritas has clearly gone out the window at America's most elite college. The Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, a Harvard-affiliated teaching hospital, is retracting 6 papers and seeking to correct dozens more by 4 of its top researchers, including the hospital's CEO, COO, and 2 program directors. Holy shit. All 4 of the implicated scientists have faculty appointments at Harvard Medical School. So just to be clear, Harvard's just ousted president is a serial plagiarist. It's not just the plagiarism. We need to stop there for a second. Some of her data in other works that she has done has come into question, and she refused to share the data.
Yeah.
The plagiarism is bad, absolutely. A much bigger problem is that her research is nonsense.
Wow, she seems to be full of lies.
The new co-chair of its anti-Semitism task force is a virulent Israel hater. What? Do we have that story?
I don't, but I can pull it up real quick.
Oh, I just used the link there. Larry Summerblasts Harvard picking Israel critic to co-chair anti-Semitism task force.
He doesn't like Jews, so a perfect guy for the task force.
Right. Summer took issue with the appointment of Professor Derek Penslar, a scholar of Jewish history, at the Jew Haters, a scholar of Jewish history. Sure. As co-chair task force that was named by the school's interim president, Alan Garber, who took over for the ousted Gay. I just like skipping her first name because I like calling her Gay.
Yeah.
I've lost confidence in the determination and ability of the Harvard Corporation and Harvard leadership to maintain Harvard as a place where Jews and Israelis can flourish. Okay. That doesn't seem like he had maybe there's proof later in the article. But anyway, did they say why these papers had to be pulled? This doesn't seem to actually suggest why.
Well, look, Mookie, sometimes you find some little things that were borrowed from other people.
I wonder if this link goes more in depth on why they had to pull those papers. Typically you don't pull papers over like something minor, you just correct that. Actually pulling the papers suggests that there's a major problem with it.
Other than plagiarism?
Other than plagiarism, yeah. I mean, sometimes they'll pull it for plagiarism. It depends on how bad it was. But like Claudine Gay stuff, that's not going to be pulled from anywhere. They'll just go through and issue corrections and be like, no, she totally thought of the acknowledgement all on her own, even though it's word for word the same. That's not part of the scholarly part of it, so no big deal. You know what I mean?
That was just a whoops-a-doodle.
Yeah. Is this real? Oh my God. Republicans, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is from the Daily Mail. Exclusive audio recording revealed the moment that senior Republican figure tried to bribe Carrie Lake not to run for the Senate. Why would you try? If you're going to do that, why with Carrie Lake? She's a former reporter, for fuck's sake. She records every conversation she has, right?
Yeah, and she's notoriously outspoken, I guess would be the proper way to say that.
An audio recording obtained by the Daily Mail reveals the extraordinary moment when what appears to be Arizona's top Republican official trying to bribe populist firebrand Carrie Lake not to run. I'm telling you, man, a Republican cannot look at their foot without pulling out a gun and aiming it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody snatches the defeat from the jaws of victory like a Republican.
Jeff DeWitt, 51, chair of the Arizona Republican Party, can be heard asking Lake, a close ally of Trump, to name her price to stay out of politics for 2 years. They're very powerful people to want to keep you out, he tells her in a conversation recorded at the start of March last year. Why is this just coming out if that was March of last year? Oh, maybe she was waiting until the race was further in.
Well, yeah, and there's she's still got some pending legal actions going on.
DeWitt tells Lake, 54, one of the most public faces of former fuck you, that he thinks Trump will lose and it's time to make way for someone else. But what would that have to do with her running for the Senate? After asking her not to mention the conversation to anyone, he makes his first offer. Let's see. So the ask I got today from back east was, is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on payroll to keep her out? Wow.
Yeah.
This is about defeating Trump, and I think that's a bad thing for our country, she said. Later, DeWitt, who was chief operating officer of Trump's 2020 campaign, frames it differently. Just say, is there a number at which, he begins. Lake cuts in, I can be bought? That's what this is about? And he goes on to say, you can take a pause for a couple of years. You can go right back to what you're doing. Okay, here's the thing. I don't care how much you like Carrie Lake. The only reason anybody cares about Carrie Lake is because of Donald Trump. Trump supported her in her run. She has attached herself to Trump. Without Trump, she's just another also ran from Arizona. And you're asking her to betray him for the Republican Party to buy her out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Are you retarded?
I think he might be.
All right. I mean, I guess. Lake repeatedly rebuffs him and says she wouldn't do it for $1 billion. It's not about money. It's about our country, she said. Two sources familiar with DeWitt's identity as the speaker, confirmed it, sorry. He and his press secretary didn't respond to multiple requests for comment. Really? I feel like when I started reading this, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see his statement because I'm sure he made one. He got caught trying to bribe Carrie Lake. And look, this isn't an illegal bribe. There's frankly nothing illegal about it. It's dirty as hell.
It's stupid too. This is political suicide. You're going after one of the loudest people in the Republican Party right now. That's dumb. Plus, she has a pretty strong fan base. Like you said, without Trump, she probably would have been also ran, but she still has a lot of supporters, especially out there. But yeah, she could just be like, hey, Trump, look what they're doing. And she's going to get media coverage.
Arizona party officials quickly called for him to step down. Yeah, he should step down, but see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that picture of her and Trump. You tried to bribe her.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Not a smart move.
I don't want him to step down. I want him to name names.
Yeah, because he had to have been getting pressure from somebody about that.
I mean, he said back east, there's somebody in the National Party. I wonder if it was Rona.
Probably. Rona's a fucking idiot, so.
I'd just like to know who it was. Isn't that much more important than him stepping down? I mean, it's the Arizona Republicans. It's not like they're all that well maintained to begin with.
That's fair.
But who was it that made these offers? He's not making this offer without something to back it up, because what if she says yes?
Yeah.
You have to have something there. I mean, I guess the answer to that would be maybe he was putting the feeler out because he had an idea that somebody might do that for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's pretty risky without somebody actually coming to you and saying, hey, I want this person out.
Yeah. This is retarded, man. The new 10-minute audio clip includes DeWitt asking for secrecy, I bet. If you say no, it's fine. It's your choice. Don't tell people.
He says on the audio recording. To be fair, she didn't tell anyone. She's just like, here's some audio.
Again, it's not illegal. It's just really dirty, and it's a really bad look. Republicans, what the fuck are you guys doing?
They don't want to win. Then they're held accountable, and they're expected to do things. This way they can continue to run on, things are so bad, give me money.
I am sorry I'm yawning, guys. I'm not tired. I don't know why it started.
Yeah. I'm not sleepy.
I'm
if
not
I start singing lullabies, will you fall asleep?
Probably not, no.
Oh. Well, I'm not doing it.
I'm getting
skip to the second link. Oh. There's one that's really short, and I gave you the wrong link. That's why there's two of the same.
Oh, okay. So we'll do this one. But they look like the same thing.
They are, but the text is really short on one, and just trust me.
Sure. Before we move on with the actual story, though, it made me remember. Did you see the video of Patriot Front trying to go through the turnstiles?
Oh my God, those feds are terrible at this. They're fucking comically stupid.
Did you also notice how much bigger the group was? Did you see that video?
Yeah.
The group is much bigger than it used to be. Shocking. It's not huge by any means, but
Well,
they've picked up probably. Go ahead.
They're probably pulling in from ATF and some other alphabet organizations.
Probably. There's about 10 to 15 more people than you normally see with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was comically hilarious. And if I was on better internet, we'd watch it just for the fun. Somebody needs to add like Looney Tunes sound effects to it.
Yeah.
They could not figure out how to use a turnstile.
Well, they don't have those at Langley.
LA Times today, as border extremism goes mainstream, vigilante group takes starring role. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement apprehended more than 2 million people crossing the border in 2023. Many of those were fleeing persecution. I'll stop it.
This is LA Times.
Many of them were fleeing persecution, poverty, and violence in their homeland. So they came to live as homeless people in America. Makes sense.
Oh, no, they're going to stay at 5-star hotels, buddy.
Now an armed militia is patrolling the border in Arizona in an effort to stop the flow and catch all alleged drug smugglers and traffickers. LA Times criminal justice editor Keegan Hamilton shadowed the militia group to see what's really happening at the border for a documentary in collaboration with Scripps News. It doesn't tell us much more about him, but we could throw the bigger article in there. I mean, this is what you've been saying for so long. This is what's going to happen.
Yep, and it's going to lead to people getting shot, and then they'll be like, oh, we got to seize the guns because they're murdering our sainted replacement lawn care workers.
You don't flee poverty. You know what? There was a time when you could do that and come to America and get rich, but that time is long past.
Mm-hmm.
If you come here especially as an illegal, you're not going to come here and get rich and start an olive oil business a la not Al Capone, Don Corleone. You can't even start a business because of all the regulations and shit.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky to find a minimum wage job.
Yeah, you'll be doing roofing work for $7 an hour.
If you're lucky, yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be on the government teat.
Well, that is a step up. But being on the government dole is better than their life in the old country. So they don't mind mooching and freeloading like parasitic leeches.
I'm shocked we haven't seen more of this in other cities, honestly.
I am too. I think it's going to get worse, though, and it's going to lead to more violent extremism. They're going to create the boogeyman they claim they're fighting.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's kind of what they want. I mean, that was the whole purpose of Obama's Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the guns to the people who we know are going to use the guns so that we can talk about, oh my God, gun violence. Create the problem, and then you get to step in and fix it, right?
Yep. It worked for Hitler. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Anyhow, well, there you go, guys. There's your news of the day. Good Lord, what a day.
Crazy, man.
I just hope these idiots down at the border don't end up shooting somebody, because we'll hear about that for 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
at least.
Remember when those armed Republicans shot that poor innocent kid?
Oh, those armed MAGA extremists.
Yes. I read about how the Texas border, or the Texas Rangers not letting Border Patrol do their job, caused a woman and 2 children to die in the Rio Grande.
Yeah, they drowned on the Mexican side, first of all. And second of all, I'm sorry, I'm having a real hard time caring right now.
Yeah, that's not the Texas folks' fault. That's that mom's fault. The Rio Grande is not small or slow moving, Jack.
No,
it's
there
dangerous.
are parts where it is, but you're not at that clearly.
Well, the parts where it is, we actually have people there to watch for it. They cross at deeper waters. Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Rep cheer for the corpse, Dems cheer for the maggots. I suppose. Everybody likes a good dead body to stand on, I guess.
Apparently.
But Democrats like dead bodies a lot more.
Most
DOJ
children.
even admitted that was fake news. Is that true? Is that fake news or not? Because I couldn't find this. The whole story about that comes from a single United States House of Representatives member who happens to be a Democrat who said it happened. And I haven't seen anything that actually verified it.
Well, look, it wouldn't surprise me if some people drowned in the Rio Grande.
Sure.
That probably happens a lot, actually. We just don't hear about it. And I'm sorry if somebody did lose their life that way. That's tragic for them and their family. But don't break into other people's countries, asshole.
I don't want anybody to die, Jack. I'm not that big of an asshole.
Yeah, I kind of am. But
remember babies through razor wire?
yeah. You're a bad parent.
That mom could have lifted a little part of that razor wire to slip a child through there without cutting either of them.
That doesn't get headlines, Monkey. You don't get
It doesn't.
sympathy that way.
But there's a photographer who has a picture from pretty close, straight down the spiral of the razor wire with that baby being pushed through it. Because, and it's why this congressman is like, kids died. They always go to the kids because they know it gets people's emotions.
Did you see that Texas is defying the Supreme Court's order to let the Border Patrol back into that park?
No, good for them.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, the Supreme Court order didn't say that they could go into that park. It said they can cut that razor wire if they get there.
Yeah, they're putting more razor wire up. If they were smart, they'd put up something way worse than razor wire. Specifically said razor wire. That's why we put up super barbed wire.
Badly worded. They admitted it happened, but not in the U.S. jurisdiction. Okay. But see, what they said is part of Border Patrol's job goes to that lady we watched before Congress the other day, is to help people who are in trouble as they're trying to get into the country. Why is that Border Patrol's job?
Yeah, no. If you're trying to get in illegally, fuck you. If somebody's having a heart attack at a checkpoint, okay, get them a doctor. But
sure,
you don't have to be like, oh, here's your welcome package. Here's your Obama phone. We're going to put you up at a 5-star hotel until the bus arrives to take you to the airport and fly you wherever you want to go. Or you could live in the airport like in Boston and Chicago.
Frosted Glass, thank you. It's literally called Big River, Big Rojo flag. No, man, it's totally a smart idea to take infants across a raging river.
Yeah, well, they're sending their best, Monkey. Their best
I've heard that.
70 IQ.
I've heard that. Anyway,
let's see what they left behind.
Jesus Christ. The criminals in their government and cartels.
Apparently.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are awesome. Cannot tell you how much we appreciate and live off of you guys.
It's true.
I mean, I feel we work for it. Some.
We have to read some of this shit before we get on the air.
I argue with idiots on Twitter for you guys.
Not your personal amusement, no.
No. It's every day I wake up and I think, fuck, I gotta go. It's kind of like when I used to go to Walmart. You're like, I don't want to go work today.
You jump out of bed like Homer Simpson. Woohoo!
I really do when it comes to like what kind of fucking retard is out there now. But it sounds better if I make it. Do it for the children. Give us money for the children. No, that makes it sound like Democrats.
We got to spread the word about these degenerate perverts trying to get in school with children because they identify as a 13-year-old girl. Ugh.
We have to spread the word the way Nikki Haley spreads her labia for every man she meets.
Oh, my God.
Jack, anything you want to show out tonight?
I'll drop some links in the chat. Thank you guys so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. We really do appreciate you coming out all the time and watching the show.
If you don't know what labia is, don't look it up with your safe search turned off. I don't know. I was gonna game stream. I think I'm gonna wait a while. I'm gonna relax for a little bit. Maybe I will take a nap. See, I've stopped yawning. I told you I wasn't tired.
Oh.
But every so often my brain's like, yawn, dummy. And then you get into that thing where you're trying not to, and so your brain is thinking about it. And there's people yawning right now because I keep saying the word yawning. Is there anything else that works with? Like, has anybody ever went, I got a shit, and that made somebody go, oh, fuck, now I got a shit too?
I've known a few ladies that if you say, take your pants off, they're more than happy to take their pants off.
I don't think that's the same thing.
Oh, it might not be. I'm not sure. I'm not a hypnotist, so I don't know how magic words work. Thank you, Evolved Potato. You guys really need to take a note from us and ship all the illegals you find onto an island, preferably surrounded by hungry sharks. Now, barely anyone is trying to come here illegally because they know they'll be locked while they're processed. We used to do that. It was Ellis Island. Stay here, you weirdos, until we find out what kind of diseases you're bringing in. Now we just bring whatever. Bring your antibiotic-resistant TB along with a backpack full of fentanyl and some Zika virus and all your freeloading children that are going to be a burden on our system. Yeah, we used to do cool stuff like that, Evolved. We're not as cool as Australia. Let's be honest. We've lost a lot of our cool factor.
Frosted said Monk's brain is Fred Sanford. Shut up, dummy. That's funny if you understand it. Circuit Zero says, I gotta pee, then others will have to pee shortly after. I guess, yeah, that kind of works. It's not the same as like yawning though, because yawning is involuntary. You can hold your pee for a little bit. I don't think anybody's ever said I had to pee and somebody immediately peed. Although that would be funny.
What a curse that would be if you're the person that pees whenever somebody mentions it.
Oh my God, what if somebody like that's in our audience? They just peed like 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you know who does respond every time you say something, though? Alexa.
Okay, Google. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I just triggered my phone.
That backfired.
No, because you know what? The Google one picks up words that aren't Google. If you say a hard G, sometimes it'll pick it up. I don't know why.
Because it's always listening.
But at least get something that sounds like it, right? Like gaggle or something. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, Jack. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have yourselves a wonderful night. Take care. We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I'm going to sing about what a whore Nikki is. You had to know it was coming all over her.